All right, Shalom. We are the Hebrew Israelites from the Indianapolis branch of the Great Millstone. We're here to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners, and so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
All right, we're here again with another installment of our camp series called For Thy Violence Against Thy Brother Jacob, and we're going to be featuring the article that's on the screen from EJI, A History of Racial Injustice, and we're going to be covering the article titled Black Minister Lynched for His Land in Mississippi, Family Fled in Fear. We will put a link to this article in the description box, and also before we get into it, just want to audibly declare fair use according to the Copyright Act of 1976, contained under section 107, because we did use a YouTube short at the beginning of this video. Even though the Copyright Act was declared at the beginning of the video, we just want to say it audibly within the video. So without further ado, go ahead and get into the article.
Well, actually, real quick.
Obadiah,
Yep.
1:10.
Obadiah, verse 10. It says, For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever.
God. So this is talking about, it's talking to Esau Edom, the so-called white man who is the wicked, according to Malachi 1 and 4, and he has had a perpetual violence against Jacob. You know, Jacob being also called Israel or Yasharallah in the ancient Paleo Hebrew, talking about the 12 tribes. Okay, his perpetual hatred for us has continued since, you know, the blessings from his father Isaac was given out until this very day. All right.
I got something too. Amos 1 and 11. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever."
Con. So yeah, you know, for 3 transgressions or for 4, that's that sin upon sin upon sin. Okay, he kept his anger perpetually, just like we were saying. It has been non-stop since that blessing.
Precept. He said kept his wrath forever.
Yeah.
You know,
forever. Yep.
God. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 34 and verse 8. It says, For it is the day of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance, and the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion. You see, as you see the things that are happening in America, because ultimately when you deal with Isaiah the 34th chapter, it goes to the judgment that's getting ready to fall upon Edom. You see, so that's why America is being broken down spiritually, financially, morally, and at the end of the day, it's going to be broken down physically with the nukes. You see, and this is the judgment that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is bringing upon Esau Edom, the so-called white man, for everything that he's done against the children of Israel. Right, as the scripture said, in the year of recompenses, which recompense goes into what? Payback.
Yep.
For the controversy of Zion. So everything that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has done against the children of Israel, all right, and the other heathens, man, they're gonna pay too. All right, but ultimately, the Lord's top enemy is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay.
And so it said that shame shall cover thee, and he's being exposed around the clock. You know, 24/7, 365. You know, all of his dirt. This is our 93rd installment of this video, of this series, 93rd installment.
To the point he exposing himself.
Yes, God.
You know,
God.
like the scripture says, he should make their tongue fall upon themselves.
God.
To the point, like he's blatantly putting stuff out there. Like, he don't even give a hell.
Right.
You know, he just going all out. That's how you know he at the end. You know, he'd already been exposed.
Yeah.
You know, now he's like, you know what? I don't got nothing to hide anymore.
Yep.
I'm just gonna be blatant with it.
Very, very blatant. And you know, like I said, it's that shame is starting to cover him. You know, he can't get away from it. You know, yeah, he's doing that, but man, and they hate it too. You know.
I appreciate it.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it, which Mount Seir is also Edom. All right. It says, and say unto it.
Right. See, that's the exposure. He prophesied against it. He said, set thy face against it. You see? So what? This devil, he got to be exposed. He has to be exposed. Go ahead.
It says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord power, behold, Mount Seir, I am against thee. I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make.
See, it's a thus says the Lord power, right? So he just us. The Lord is against you. See, they get mad at us, right? Y'all hate group and all that. No, they say the Lord is against you. You know. So we don't got no other trace but to be against you, man.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yep, he said, don't I hate thee, hate them that hate thee. It says, and I will make thee most desolate. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood.
Right. Because even now, right, he about to go on the complete onslaught on Jake. You know, right now he in the Northern Kingdom, and he's sending them back. You know, probably killing some of them. You know, sending them to these crazy. I don't know if y'all seen that prison in what's that?
Guantanamo Bay.
No, what you said?
Guantanamo Bay.
No, it's another one in Venezuela.
Oh,
I
seen that.
Is that the prison? I think it's in Venezuela or something like that.
That president offered to take.
Yeah, but yeah, that dude got to be a terror.
Yeah.
You know, he got to be. He got to be a terror. But man, the hell that prison, bro. Like it's like the video I see was one big dorm and it had no mattresses on in there, right? And it's like 60 men in there, so they got them sleeping on steel and concrete, and like 60 men or whatever on top of each other, man. You know, so it's showing you this Edomite man. He don't got no love for Jake, man, at all.
Yeah. He says, verse 6, read that again. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Yeah. So again, it's like one of those things, everything in which you put out, you know, the vibration in which you put out, you know, it says like Job, you know, it said in the book of Job, he that soweth iniquity, you know, he that plow iniquity, you know, shall reap the same, right? So all the things in which he's done, you know, is going to come back upon him. All the devices in which he thought to imagine, it's going to come back upon him. Things that he's done in the past, he has to pay for, right?
Now.
And even now, now.
Yep.
So as the sins are reaching up into the heavens, you know, like it also says that he has a bounds in which he cannot pass. So he's getting to that point where his time is going to be completely up, and the Lord is going to, like what he says, he's seen Satan fall from heaven like lightning.
Like lightning, yep.
So he's going to come down with a very, very hard fall, and it also tells us in the Psalms how he's on that slippery slope. And like when you're slipping and you're falling, you know, you take as many down as you can, you know, with you. You start reaching and grabbing for folks. And so that's also going to be a case with 2/3 of our people and any other nation that cleaves on to his ways and believe in the system in which he's pushing from this point on.
And that's why Yahweh said that the day is going to be short for the elect's sake. Because if they wasn't, no flesh should be saved. See, as Esau's going down, man, he's going to try to take as many souls with him as possible.
He is. He is going to take them.
A
bunch of them.
Yep.
But she ain't going to get the elect. That's for sure.
I had a precept.
Now, I just mentioned something about the Northern Kingdom, right? I ain't going to read this article because we still got to read the article, right?
Yes.
Right. But I'm just going to read this title. It says, Border Patrol to stop using usage of body cameras in the field. So they about to open up on Northern Kingdom. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Like didn't I just say that our brother just put this in the group?
God.
You know, I told you they probably killing them.
Yeah.
They probably killing a lot of them, Jakes that's coming in, that's on the border, man. They probably just straight up killing them,
Well, there was a statement that that Trump had made about giving the police immunity.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That he was looking.
qualified immunity,
Yep. He was looking at pretty much releasing them, giving them a little bit more freedom.
Yep.
To make their judgment, and if the judgment had to be harsh, it's kind of like they're going to side more with the authorities.
Yeah.
which they already had anyway. We
Yeah.
see that Esau that don't get in trouble for anything. You said that link was in the group.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the description box
Yeah.
with the video.
And you see, on top of that, man, Trump, he's giving the ICE the authority to raid places of worship or religious
Yep.
places. And
Yep.
of course, the whole nation of Israel is in the idol worship, but in Northern Kingdom, and they cleave hard, until white Jesus, man.
Yeah.
So this is the Lord bringing that judgment upon His people.
But you remember too, they didn't have a problem back in history attacking us on the Sabbath.
Yep. But then last thing, and we'll get to this article, and the Southern Kingdom can't forget, so-called black, can't forget that, once they dealt with the Northern Kingdom, they transitioned on to us,
Yeah. Well,
so-called blacks.
That
Okay.
that woman, that Israeli council, Judith Varney Shore, said the number one problem for the state of Israel is the black youth of America. She said that right here on U.S. soil, okay? And you got to consider, how is that possible? We don't have a military. We all the way over here, and definitely Jake is not unified. That's why you have the 2/3 and the 1/3, okay? But she says the black youth of America is the number one problem for the state of Israel. But she also said, don't worry about it because we have some of them on our payroll, which is, Zechariah 11:5, the shepherds pitied them not. All right. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get into the article. Again, this article will be included in the description box. It is from EJI, a history of racial injustice, and it's titled Black Minister Lynched for His Land in Mississippi, Family Fled in Fear. And that's what you see on the screen, okay? All right, it says, on March 26, 1944, a group of white men brutally lynched the Reverend Isaac Simmons, a black minister and farmer, so they could steal his land in Amite County, Mississippi. Members of his family, some of whom witnessed his murder, fled the state fearing for their lives. The white men responsible for lynching him successfully stole the Simmons land and were never convicted for their crimes. It's at Psalm 73:5, All right, he is not in trouble as other men.
To Micah 2,
Yep.
it says that they cover fields and take them by violence.
Okay. Continuing on, it says, before his death, the Reverend Simmons controlled more than 270 acres of debt-free Amite County land that his family had owned since 1887. This was very unusual among black families in the South, where racism and poverty had posed obstacles to economic advancements for generations. The Reverend Simmons worked the land with his children and grandchildren, producing crops and selling the property's
You
lumber.
said that some Jakes did get some kind of land after slavery,
Yep.
but the bulk of Jake didn't.
Right.
And the ones that did get the land, it didn't end for them. It didn't end. Cause don't get me wrong, every Jake ain't get messed up or whatever.
Right.
But a lot of times Esau went and took that land back, or stole it.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I was just watching some. No, I think y'all should. I think that's the article.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you go ahead and finish.
Yeah. Because what I was going to say here, to your point, Elder, after Lincoln was assassinated, you had the 40 acres in the mule.
That's what my thought was.
Okay.
The lot. Oh my God, you're right. I was about to say because even Kendrick Lamar just got up the Super Bowl and mentioned 40 acres in a mule. And you had these Edomites. You got Edomites going into it.
Yeah.
Breaking it down. So like I said, look, your own tongue, she was what? Call upon yourself. Even what they say, shameful spewing. Some of these people, they're ashamed of what of their heritage. You know what they done as a nation to another nation.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Which and they try to play this role, right? So, well, slavery happened to everybody. Everybody went into slavery. Look, man, the things that recorded what happened to the Israelites, bro, is nothing like what happened to any other nation.
I got a precept for you, though.
You know, cause hell, we all right, true, all right. Let's just say everybody did go into slavery, whatever. Everybody had to deal with captivity, some kind of captivity. But guess what? Y'all didn't get your names taken away. You know.
All right.
And taught another heritage, you know, you completely stripped of everything you can think of, you know, stripped of your dignity, you know, your nationality, your culture, you know, that didn't happen to no other nation, you know, not in that fashion, where you was locking somebody up on a boat and selling them across the ocean, you know. We're going here, man.
Con, this is the book of Daniel, chapter 9.
Then you went to the extremity, right? After slavery to finish putting hell on Jake, right? You started the goddamn Ku Klux Klan, right? This dude went to the extreme. You know, you finished bombing churches. You know, after Jake was let free, the lynchings, you had lynching parties. You know, all that stuff, man.
Yep.
He went to the extreme.
Con.
Yeah.
So that's where the term picnic comes from.
Yeah, right.
Picnic,
Yep.
You know, and that was pretty much like a festival to Esau. They would have all like the picnic tables. You know,
They would sell
whiskey
tickets.
and,
They would sell tickets.
you know,
Sell tickets.
Train rides to the facility. They would shut down whole, cities just for this.
Yeah, what no other nation done like that, bro?
Right.
No other nation on earth, bro.
They would take parts of the body, and cut them up and eat them. Yep, and hand them out to each other for memorabilia. And then you have the kids later on, going through the basement stuff, and they finding and they're finding this stuff, from their grandparents and stuff like that.
Yeah, I just before I get to the scripture, I just saw a video yesterday. Edomite woman. I'm gonna put the link in this Revelation reveal.org.
Okay.
They actually found the bills of where the land was given to Jake regarding the 40 acres and a mule. They found them. Yeah, I'll put it in the group. But to your point, like nothing's hadn't happened to anybody else. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, beginning in verse 9, and points in 12. It says, "To Yahweh our power belong mercies and forgiveness, though we have rebelled against him." Verse 10, "Neither have we obeyed the voice of Yahweh our power to walk in his laws, which he set before us by his servants the prophets." Verse 11, "Yea, all Israel have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, because we have sinned against him." This is the point.
Right, he said the curse is poured upon us. Just imagine somebody dumping a bucket of water on you.
Yep.
Yeah.
like the Gatorade show.
Yeah, like a Gatorade, after the football game. That's how the curse is in Jake.
God.
Go ahead, bro.
He says, verse 12, "And he hath confirmed his words." That's where we go into that word shall or shalt, and the curses means it's inevitable, it's going to happen. That word appears 110 times between Deuteronomy 28, verse 15, and 68. He says, "And he has confirmed his words which he spake against us, and against our judges that judged us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as hath been done upon Jerusalem."
See? Damn.
Had another point you made. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 1, verse 15. He says, "I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction."
Yeah, they went to basically, and even now they doing Jake, through systematic racism. Last hire, first fire.
Red line.
Yeah, red line of your communities, man. you know, or giving you the worst food in your communities too.
Yeah.
You don't get the good food, or if you go to a predominantly Jake or a real ghetto like Gary, go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
Go to and see what the grocery store look like, and you're gonna look around. You're gonna say, "What the f is this, man?"
Yeah.
You know. But then you drive 10 miles, 15 miles away, and you go to where Esau live at, right? And they got organic food and all this in the grocery stores, in the regular grocery stores.
Fresh flowers you
Yeah.
smell when you
Yeah.
walk in. Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, back in the article, it says, in 1941, a rumor spread that there was oil in southwest Mississippi. A group of 6 white men decided they wanted Simmons' land and warned Reverend Simmons to stop cutting lumber. The Reverend Simmons consulted a lawyer to work out the dispute and ensure his children would be the sole heirs to the property. You know, that's how you gonna tell this man what to do on his property.
Pretty simple.
You know, go ahead.
This is Micah chapter 2, beginning in verse 1. It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands." See? And also we understand that iniquity be sin upon sin. You see, and when the scriptures speak about Esau Edom, or when we go to Malachi, the first chapter, it calls Esau Edom the border of wickedness. And ultimately, wherever Esau Edom, so-called white man is, wickedness is to follow.
Let me jump in real quick. It's the book of John chapter 10 verse 10. It says, "The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy." He says, "I am come," which is Yahweh Shai, that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. So just to your point, So everywhere he goes, wherever he is, like he said, death and hell follows him. Yeah.
It says, when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And we know that the scriptures tell us that the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. So with the wicked being in rulership, they pretty much have the freedom, for lack of better terms, to exercise wickedness to their heart's content. Because really, man, in the grand scheme of things, they don't really have no freedom. Because we understand that the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yashai, controls them on the left-hand side. You see, so ultimately, we understand that ultimately, when all is said and done, what Esau, Edom is doing, the Lord has allowed him to do it for prophecy's sake. It says, verse 2, it says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away." And is that not what we're reading about right now? Because oil, is a very valuable resource. So when Esau heard that, what did they do? They wanted to go to this man's land, and take it.
Yep.
And ultimately, we understand that ultimately the end result, he was killed. So that goes to what? Them coveting fields and taking them by violence.
And several years prior to this, it was Gad, the tribe of Gad, Reuben, who had this whole entire land. And we've brought out in previous violence against our brother Jacob's how they got pushed out to small little areas like
Andrew Johnson.
Yep, and into Oklahoma, and then they would find that they would either have cotton or oil or gold, and then they would rush to do these land grabs, and completely pushing them into like these reservoirs that we have today. Reducing them to having casinos. The very people in which they're pushing out today, that's being deported, their forefathers and ancestors, which are our brothers and sisters, once owned this land and had this land. That you're very, very much, and the people that even brought it out. Some of their own people and said, like, hey, if anybody's more native to this place, it would be them.
But they don't believe that. Just like you said, the Joe quoted Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. When they wrote that Constitution, right in the preamble, it says, I'll just recite the whole thing: to ourselves and our posterity. Okay, that word posterity carries you all the way back to the progenitor, which is Esau, Edom, and brings you forth to all future generations from that progenitor. All right. All right. Go ahead.
It says, so they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. See, that's what's happened to the nation of Israel, because ultimately, we're really the only nation who's truly forgotten who we are completely.
Yeah.
Or had our heritage beat up out of us. You see, because And during the time of slavery, our Esau conditioned Jacob with the slave Bible.
Yep.
You know, and if Jake was caught reading the Bible, all right, the real Bible, what will happen, man? They'll be put to death. You know.
Yep.
So that's how Esau, even the so-called white man, was able to beat our heritage out of us. Verse 3, therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, against this family do I devise an evil, meaning bad times, from which ye shall not remove your necks. See, so ultimately, in other words, man, the judgment that the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai has pronounced upon Esau, even the so-called white man, hey, Esau can't escape it. It says, neither shall ye go heartily, for this time is evil. So the Lord is going to bring you all the way down to the ground. Like Isaiah the 47th chapter says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. See, so ultimately, you Edomites, man, all right, the Lord is going to bring you to the lowest of the low.
Precept.
You got it.
Okay, this is the book of Job, chapter 20, beginning at verse 19, and it reads, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. Verse 20, surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly, he shall not save of that which he desired. So yeah, because he did that, like you said, he's going to pay for it, you know, and it's disturbing him right now to this very day. All his descendants, all right, they you know, it's they are disturbed about this truth coming out. Which there was a point back in the article. We'd be remiss if we forgot this. The last sentence in that paragraph, it says, the Reverend Simmons consulted a lawyer to work out the dispute and ensure his children would be the sole heirs to the property. That was the whole thing. They didn't want Jake to have generational wealth. Okay, that's why the 40 acres and a mule, or Field Act number 40, was rescinded, because they did a study on the 40 acres and a mule and what it'd be worth today. As of 2015, and 10 years later now, as of 2015, that 40 acres and a mule would have been worth $6.4 trillion. Jake would have ran this place.
Yeah, you got all the land. You know Jake can grow everything. Then you would have been able to live off the land.
Yep.
You know, you don't got to go to what it say, but that's the curses of it.
Yeah.
The Lord said, well, you go there for all wanted things. So your black ass, you wouldn't get no 48 animal. Mule, because why? You know why? You under the curses.
This goes into a video I did last night about the couple in Georgia. They claimed eminent domain on their property. That's 600 acres, and you know, to their that land for the uses that you just mentioned.
Right. So they can run a train.
Run a train through it. Run a train through it. Yeah. And they're fighting it to the death. But that's, you know, they didn't kill him like they did this Jake. But that eminent domain, you know, that's those unrighteous decrees.
Yeah.
Just coming and taking it, and that's he said the same thing. Generational wealth. You know, his family is all on that land.
Somebody do got to go down, man.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually had a guy I grew up with, was talking to him. He owned his home, and he had bought another property, and all the properties around was, I guess they allowed it to run down, and they pretty much hit him with that eminent domain, and they gave him money, which, you know, he was like should have been worth more, but they just gave him, you know, something, and so he got hit with that. That's here in the city.
And see what they're going to do, how they do that. Unlike this, that's all that's out there with the couple who's going under eminent domain right now. But what they did with him was took the value of the property around him, and made that adjustment for him, even though his is worth more.
Because they don't want Jake having shit. You have this one Jake, he bought this building, buildings of this block, basically by mistake, and he got it for like a
$5,000.
Yeah, for like $5,000. Esau wanted it back, but he bought it.
Yeah.
You know, but that was on y'all. Y'all sold it for that cheap. You know.
Yep, I seen that.
So this dude, man, he's a fucking man. This dude's a fucking cutthroat dude, man.
Yeah.
You know, demon.
All the damn time.
It's like he won't let you have nothing. You know. Then he tell you, you know, work harder and all that, but as soon as Jake get ahead, right? Like all the Black Wall Streets, right? Jake will have stuff if you ain't tear down or flood out all the Black Wall streets.
Yep.
Then after you tore down the cities Jake have, then you put all these crazy laws out there, man. You know, or like they were saying, I read across something. They said they didn't have insurance, and they said credit score didn't come around to like the late '80s,
Right.
Yeah.
or something, and like something else. And they said the only reason they did that so black people couldn't afford it.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
so they can give them, you know, problems with buying stuff, you know. Because Jake, you know, you ain't got no credit score, you know, whatever. You know, then it's based off bullshit. Like, like how do you know, make this credit good, you know, whatever the hell, you know.
Yep.
This dude was let me see if I can find it, though.
Okay.
No, you
Oh, and I don't say, and to your point, you brought up Black Wall Street. I always bring this up. The movie Harlem Nights. You know that movie,
right. That's a good one.
Yeah, that movie was the same period, same time setting for what we're talking about now. And if you remember the part where Officer Cantone had broken into Sugar Ray's house, sitting in his chair, here you got Sugar Ray's club on one side of town, totally different clientele, and then you got the Pity Pat Club way on the other side of town. Don't even entertain the same amount of people. But Sugar Ray was making more money, bringing in more money.
Yeah.
And then this guy talking about he wants his cut. All right. So Sugar Ray said, "Well, how much you talking about?" He said, "You know, you pulling down 10 to 15,000 a week. That's a lot of money in 1920.
Yeah.
Yeah, you pulling down 10 to 15,000 a week."
And
He
he
said,
said that would probably be what today?
"Oh shoot."
What
I'm about to look it up.
be today?
Yeah,
You know?
that's quick. You can get a
So let's just
converter.
say if you do it right, I don't know, it probably might be $100K.
Yeah,
You know,
if not more. There's a conversion.
and
table.
it was worth more.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
You said 19 what?
1920.
20.
you know what if you had $100,000 in 1920, that's probably equivalent to $1 million today.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I'm looking at it, it says 15,000 in 1920 is equivalent to the purchase power to about 236 $703,000.
Wow.
Still a lot of money back then.
Yeah. Still a lot of money.
They looking at percentages of inflation 2.6 and some other stuff, but it could be even been more.
But I was gonna say in that scene, Elder, if you remember, he said, "Well, you're pulling about 10 to 15,000 a week." He said, "We'll take 10." Then Officer Cantone said, "If it was up to me, you wouldn't have nothing."
Right. Hey, precept.
That's how Esau thinks.
Precept.
God.
It says the Obadiah, verse 5. It says, "If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night." Well, look in that video, it was at night, right? He was sitting in his home.
Yep.
He says, "How art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the great gatherers came to thee, would they not have leave? Would they not leave some grapes?" So just to your point, you know, it's like, you know, scriptures talk about, you know, some would steal, you know, steal what they had, you know, because they are in need.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like understood in a sense. But then you have this man who has everything.
Yeah.
You know, you have the whole world's been handed unto you, and yet you still are looking to take and take more, and the people that's underneath you, bring them, you know, take as much, like you said, taking juice out of a turnip.
Oh shoot, man! My parents used to tell me if the white man could steal a snake out of shit, he would.
Yeah.
He would.
Is that if it was, especially if you can get profit off of it.
Yeah.
Get it. Well, he did though, right? Because he going to beaver's ass, right? And make vanilla out the shit.
Yeah.
So he did steal the stink out of shit. And he figured out how to steal the stink out of shit. This dude is crazy.
Yeah,
man.
he did.
He did. Right?
And then not only that, what he wasn't it? It's in history somewhere where vanilla is actually chocolate. and he made it white, and
Oh, yeah.
we had to go to a different flavor of ice cream because we couldn't eat vanilla ice cream because it was white. That's just the stuff that Esau did, man.
Yeah.
All right. Back into the article. It says on Sunday, March 26, 1944, not that long ago, a group of white men arrived at the home of Reverend Simmons' eldest son, Eldridge, and told him to show them the property line. He agreed to do so, but while Eldridge Simmons rode with the men in their vehicle, they began to beat him and shouted at the Simmons family that they thought they were smart niggers for consulting with a lawyer. That's, his words were smoother than butter, It said the men dragged Reverend Simmons from his home about a mile away and began beating him too. They drove both Simmons men further onto the property and ordered Reverend Simmons out of the car. Then killed him brutally, shooting him 3 times and cutting out his tongue. The men let Eldridge Simmons go, but told him and his relatives had 10 days to abandon the family property.
Yeah.
All right.
Further, the points that we've made, about the thief.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It says the white men who committed the lynching took possession of the land. The constable and sheriff concluded immediately that Reverend Simmons had met his death at the hands of parties unknown, even though his son Eldridge and his daughter Laura were present and able to identify by name at least 4 of the 6 men responsible.
But it say judgment. The scripture say judgment never go forth. So this dude haven't paid for nothing. He haven't paid for no crimes, and he's still committing crimes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Heinous acts, man. This dude is he won't stop. See, that's why the Lord got to come back, because he's not going to stop. Because there's nobody here to stop him.
Huh?
Who's gonna stop? Like it says in the book of Revelations, who shall make war against the beast? How you gonna go against this dude?
Mm-hmm.
Right. He owned everything, got everything. Got the drones, the gun.
He's the sword of the Lord.
Yeah, he's the sword of the Lord.
Huh?
Hey.
Says the family fled Amite County over the next 2 days, fearing for their lives, before their father's funeral on March 29th. Eldridge remained in Amite for his father's funeral, but was taken into police custody the next day, supposedly for his own protection. Held in jail for more than a week despite being the victim, Eldridge was released from jail on April 8th and was urged to leave the county altogether. Only one of the 6 white men responsible was ever prosecuted for Reverend Simmons' lynching. On November 1st, 1944, more than 7 months after their father was lynched, Eldridge and his sister Laura were arrested in New Orleans, Louisiana, on charges that they had fled the state in order to avoid testifying as witnesses in the trial of the only white man prosecuted for murdering their father. Wow, ain't that something? Made them get out and then prosecuted them for it.
I just came to mind just to think about how spiritual it is for Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because he's risen up, or he's brought up men that are in many of these states, ones that we live in even today, the one that we're in, but just Alabama, Mississippi, you hear about all these, things where these sundown towns, but he's brought us up in these last days to speak, to the nobles, and those who have afflicted us, and that should be something very spiritual that those who come across this video to understand. And you said that was 1944.
1944.
Right. So that's right around. It's not too far away from where we are now. And now these men have rose up to speak about all the afflictions out in the highways and the byways. That's the spirit of the Lord that is upon the men. Starting with our head apostles and elders, a great millstone.
You gotta remember too. At that time, there was a law against 2 or 3 or more Jakes gathered in the same place. It was called mob action. You know, they didn't want you standing on the streets.
Which is also another thing against the scriptures,
Yep.
against Yahweh Shai, because we said when 2 or 3 are gathered, he is in the midst.
God.
And you know, and then he said, you have out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall the matter be established. So to be out there together, you know, but it wasn't that time.
Right.
You know, now we're in that time where he's opened it up for us to be able to do so.
God. All right, back to the article. It says, during the trial on November 11th, 1944.
They used to have laugh buckets.
Yes.
So like,
Did we do that?
We probably did. Yeah, we
one
did.
Of the videos. Yeah.
Where you couldn't even laugh out in public. You know, you had to put Jake would have to run into a bucket just to laugh. A barrel.
Yep.
Just to laugh.
Yep.
You know, so let alone you had to step off the sidewalk.
Yep. Couldn't look him in the eye.
Couldn't look him in the eye. You know, they call you boy.
Yep.
You know, and so we're just showing how the times have changed and how the Lord has geared these things up.
Mm-hmm.
For his men to rise, and then for the nation, for this nation, Esau Edom to fall.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in that time. You know, it's been coined by the apostle.
Yep.
Yep. Apostle Tahar.
Yep.
You know.
Okay. It says, during the trial on November 11th, 1944, Eldridge and Laura refused to name the perpetrators in testimony because they feared for their lives in the event of a conviction. The one white man that was ultimately acquitted by an all-white jury because of lack of evidence. You got a dead man. They told you who did it. Now you got him fearing for their lives.
And they're occupying the land.
Yeah. Took his land.
They're occupying the spot, yeah.
And like the article said, his children was still there to be able to identify the suspect, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, as it goes to show, like the elder quoted earlier, righteous judgment never going forth.
He's always the number one suspect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In any goddamn crime. You know what? Which I'll tell you, he should be, right?
Uh-huh.
Because when you look up the numbers, right? They commit the most crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They do the most murders, most armed robberies, most
Mm-hmm.
rapes. All they're the real criminals.
Uh-huh.
But yet Jake get demonized,
Yeah, well,
or get more time and get
Yeah.
locked up.
yeah. Here's the thing, when they try to say you 13% of the population but commit 50% of the crimes,
Yeah.
the statistic they don't go into is the exonerations.
Oh, see,
Is 53%.
right.
53% for crimes they commit. You know, just like the Jake that was killed, I think in Missouri. The governor wouldn't let him go, and all the evidence pointed that he was not guilty, but they still took him out anyway.
Even with Tukey Williams, they had no evidence on Tukey Williams, which I believe the nigga did it.
Uh-huh.
We ain't had no evidence, but that show you they don't even follow their own laws.
No.
Sorry. You said innocent to proven guilty. You kept him in prison all them years.
Mm-hmm.
Even though this dude was a thug, he's a bad individual, but you had no evidence,
Mm-hmm.
and you still lethal injected this dude. You know?
Yeah.
Like you said, they don't. That's that joy of the hypocrite. They don't keep their
Yeah.
keep their
No,
own laws.
we still gonna execute him. Right?
Mhm.
Like, God damn. That show you, that Jake life don't matter to this devil.
Nope.
You know?
Nope. All right. Says during the era of racial terror, white mobs regularly terrorized black people with violence.
Yeah, terror.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, man.
And murder to maintain the racial hierarchy and exert economic control. That's that taking that land, no generational wealth. Okay, these acts of lawlessness were committed with impunity by mobs who rarely faced arrest, prosecution, or even public shame for their actions. Black people could expect little protection from law enforcement and knew that protesting their own abuse or a loved one's lynching could result in even more violence and death. And to this point, where it says that the acts of law, it says black people could expect little protection from law enforcement and knew that protesting their own abuse or a loved one's lynching could result in even more violence and death. You just had recently in Lincoln, Ohio, law enforcement escorted those Nazis to that the Jake neighborhood. The videos you posted,
Yeah.
and because the school camera caught them, brought them in. They were showing assembling their weapons, getting them on a truck, and he escorted them there. Like, oh, we're going to go on an investigation. No need to investigate. Evidence right there. All right.
Which they ain't really commit no crime. I mean, you got freedom of speech, so
Yeah.
freedom of speech. But hell, they're about to get their ass whooped, or
Yeah.
that could have turned completely violent.
Yeah.
You know, because the next day Jake came back with guns.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but showing you, you know, they getting, you know, they getting back in that spirit. You know.
Yeah. Well, and here again, you just had where Trump said no more recruiting of blacks into the military. It's too late. 49.8% of the U.S. military today is Jake.
Yeah,
Both kingdoms.
But you know why he said that? You training the people that you hate.
Yeah.
You teaching them more.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey, I brought it up. I brought it up at camp. There's a video with this Jake. He training Edomites how to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
He dude, Jake thrive at anything.
Yeah.
Even though that's Esau, Jake can take Esau blessing and be just as good at it.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, have you seen that clip? I don't know if this was the same one you're talking about, but where the Jake had multiple weapons on him.
Yeah.
And Esau stopped and was like, oh shit, how many is it like it?
Yeah.
Wasn't missing, hitting all his targets. Quickly. Quickly.
well, they know like when things start to get chaotic. You know, a lot of these men, militia men, are from the military.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, Jake, they when they start to make this split, Jake's gonna get with their own. They're gonna have their own, and they'll be fighting it out in the streets. You know, and so of course that does make sense to be like, no, we're not gonna give them the equipment or the knowledge to know.
And here's something you got to think long range too. There is a militia clause in the United States Constitution. Once that is enacted, your guns become property of the state. They can't put that in Jake's hand. The Civil War break out. You can't confiscate their weapons. All right.
Hey, real quick, precept. It says Sirach chapter 30 verse 3. It's kind of in the same thing. He says, "He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy." It says, "And before his friends he shall rejoice in him." So it's just, it's like, of course, if they had this knowledge, of military combat, how to hunt, how to not rely on Esau Edom, then you're going to teach your sons, and you're going to train them up. Like Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is doing for us. He says, train up a child in the way that he shall go.
Yep.
And
when
so
he grows old, he won't depart.
He won't depart, right? And so we know that, like the elder brought out, like we get into things, we go hard at it, we learn it, and the Lord put the Spirit on us, and we're very good at it. And then when we get really good at it, at the age in which we learn it, we then start instilling those things in our child very, very early. And I always like to use, there's several others, but I always like to use Floyd Mayweather. Like when he came up, he had an uncle, his father, they all were boxers, and he was in the gym at a young age. He was running around 7 and boxing, but then they instilled all, the things that they learned, the mistakes that they made as grown men. They put that into him as a young man. So by the time he got to that age, it was set that he would be a prime elite boxer. So that would definitely be a thing if Jake had the true ability to be free with their children and not have to have all the other things to hold them back as far as jobs and economics and these things to keep us from being able to, that's why they mainly took the man out the home.
Yep.
And it grieved them once we start to be able to show our kid and have our children live a certain way and be a certain lifestyle, which is, of course, mainly Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
And to your point, like you said, that's mainly why they took the man out of the home. That was the man's job, according to the scriptures, Deuteronomy 4. verse 8 and 9.
Okay.
Teach thy sons and thy
Thy
sons'
sons.
sons. All right?
Because in the ancient world, we grew up to use weapons, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They wasn't doing no damn TikToks and
Right.
all that shit. Jake was warriors. You know?
Yeah.
You know, they put a sword in your hand, you know?
God.
Yeah, I'm pretty much sure the average Israelite knew how to use some kind of weapon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a scripture real quick though.
Come.
God.
2 Samuel 1 and 18. It says, also he bade them. I'll read it from 17. And David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. And he also bade them to teach the children of Judah to use the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher. So, you know, teaching, Jake how to use weapons, that was a common thing in Israel. You know? Oh, and another thing, right? Gad, right?
God.
When Esau came and he was trying to conquer Gad, when you watch the movies, you see Gad. Gad got the one arrow and he got that rifle.
Yeah, God.
Fighting against Esau.
Yeah.
Gad was like, no, all right, well, you gonna use gun. We gonna learn how to use the gun. That's why he had such a hard time taking down Gad.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and
God.
definitely Reuben. He didn't really take down Reuben.
Right.
He didn't really take down Reuben. They said, look, we just gonna leave them alone. We ain't going back in there. We ain't going back in Florida,
God.
man. We ain't dealing with that.
God. You came out of 1 Samuel, and you had to think. Somebody had to teach David how to use that slingshot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was accurate as all get out, Somebody had to teach him.
Well, he was shepherd. He was a shepherd over the flocks.
God.
So you had to, be fighting bears.
Yeah, and it ain't like today. You had probably, like all the time in the world down there.
Okay.
To practice stuff.
Mm.
You have a phone and a goddamn Sega Genesis and shit, man.
It's distractions.
And some basketball and shit, man.
God.
You needed the things that you needed for life,
Yeah.
right? And learn how to, war,
God.
learn how to defend yourself.
God.
Yeah. It was like those rites of passage. It was like, I'm trying to figure, it was a movie, I think it was 300 actually. They showed where they had the kids when they got to a certain age.
Yeah.
It was like they was already knowing how to ride horses and fight with the sword. Then they would send them out. And they showed that where he ended up like killing the wolf or something like that. But
That was the very first scene.
Alexander the Great, too. It was in that. Showing the kids how to war. Yep.
Who were the Spartans?
Yep.
And when the scriptures speak about the Lacedaemonians,
But you see, he ain't go in there like Alexander the Greek went, conquering and go. He didn't step in Sparta.
Right.
He said, no, I ain't. Don't know about that battle. He left them the hell alone.
God.
like the scriptures speak about the Lacedaemonians,
Yeah.
rather than the Jews.
It's the stock of Abraham.
Stock of Abraham.
Stock of
Yeah,
Abraham.
see.
God. All
Let
right.
me finish up.
Yep, this last paragraph. It says, the Reverend Simmons was one of at least 14 black people lynched in Amite County, Mississippi between 1865 and 1950. Learn more about how over 6,500 black women, men, and children were victims of racial terror lynching in the U.S. between 1865 and 1950 by reading E.J.I.'s reports, Lynching in America and Reconstruction in America. And what's so wild about this is Mississippi. Mississippi did not ratify the 13th Amendment until like 1995. And then they actually put it into action in 2013. That's only 12 years ago.
See?
2013. And that bill, that law passed in January 1st, 1863. So, yeah, Esau got a lot to pay for. All right.
I got something.
Go ahead.
Let's see. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 6, verse 30 and 32. This is what I was quoting. It says, "Man do not despise a thief if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry. But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold.
God.
He shall give all the substance of his house.
This dude just be stealing. You know, and he just steal. Like he already got everything, man.
Yep.
But he says, well, he got to repay sevenfold.
Yep.
For him too.
Yep.
What's it?
And real quick, one more. Is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 18. It says, that's what you was pulling?
No, I brought out 19 and 20.
Oh, God. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. So everything in which he's stolen, he's gonna vomit that back up.
Yeah,
he's
that's
gonna get that
further up. Yeah.
And what's the one ultimate thing, you know, of many, that he stole that he currently has in his possession? Us. And it tells you in Exodus, that if
He that still
he that still in the man. Yeah, go ahead real quick.
Yeah.
This is
And these are the precious jewels of the Lord. Yeah, how about you?
Go
Go ahead.
It's cool, but because we worth more than anything, man.
Yeah.
Israelites make the world go around, bro. Kingdom is not nothing. If you notice, every great society had the Israelites in it.
Yep.
Yep.
They need us.
Yep.
Really, they really need the Israelites, bro. Just imagine this society without Israelites.
All 7 captivities.
Just imagine, you know what I'm saying?
God.
They can't even imagine that.
No.
That's
That's why they won't let us go.
A world without Israelites,
Yep.
they wouldn't have nothing. They wouldn't have no inventions.
God.
They'd still be living in the fucking Stone Age.
Bland food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, they'd still be living in the Stone Age.
God.
They wouldn't have an internet. They wouldn't have
Yeah.
nothing. Because all that is Israelite inventions, man.
No seasoning.
No, Jake is on that food on that seasoning. Blood Jake like bland food. But they would have nothing, man. Like, just think about it. Every bro, they would have nothing, but like they had just sticks and stones.
God. God.
Yeah, you just thought about how Shah said you the salt on the earth.
Now imagine this, the whole country was just Israelites.
Yeah.
Without the influence of them mother effers.
Yeah, right.
Bro, we have to stop them. We have to have border patrol because they'll be trying to get out. They heard they got good tacos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they was like we have to keep them out.
Yeah. Well, Mexico already started that. Now they got to have visas.
Bro, we will literally have to have border patrol. We have to keep them out.
Yeah.
You know, they'd be like, man, I snuck over there. You smell the food?
Yeah.
Yep.
They got flying, bro. We already have flying cars.
Yep.
And that's actually what over in Africa. It's like we gotta get these people out of here.
Yeah.
And Trump was like, look, you can bring them over here. So they. Yeah.
All right.
You have
That precept. Yep.
Go ahead.
This is it. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 25, and it reads, "But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done, and there is no respect of persons." All right? You're going to get back everything that you did to us. You're going to serve twice as long and twice as hard, according to Revelations 18, 5, and 6. All right? And then you're going to be exterminated, according to Obadiah 1 and 18. Don't care what your status is. That's what it means. No respect of person. We don't want to hear, well, I wasn't there, my ancestors, those are my forefathers. No, the scriptures say, prepare a slaughter for his children for the iniquities of their fathers. Okay? You have to pay for that, just like we had to pay. All right?
Yep, he had something in there.
So the scripture you call for, Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. And he that stealeth a man, oldie but goodie, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. You see, and the scriptures, the Heavenly Father himself said, hey, he that touches you, touch the apple of mine eye. See, us as a nation of Israel, which the nation of Israel consists of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we are a prized possession in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahshai. Like how we was going to earlier, how the nations, they claim, well, every nation's been in slavery, but here's the point. You nations outside the nation of Israel, hey, the Lord don't count y'all as shit.
Right.
The scriptures literally say that the heathen nations are counted as spittle. See, so even if it is the case that all nations have gone into captivity,
He said, I count them as
Nothing.
nothing.
He said, I count them as nothing.
That's the
Dust,
vanity.
he said dust of the balance.
Yeah, man.
You see, so hey man, even if all nations have had went into captivity at one point, hey, the Lord, He's only concerned with His people.
Huh?
God.
You see?
Especially the elect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Huh. You see, so hey man, and especially as far as Esau, even the so-called white man went, hey man, you're gonna have to pay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So with that, we hope this lesson was edifying to the elect body of the nation of Israel. Once again, we're going to give all praises, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash.
Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well in teaching us this 100% truth. Salutations to them and our fellow Akim who labor in this truth week in and week out on the highways and byways. Also salutations to the hopeful elect of the scattered 12 tribes of Israel, scattered to the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, also known as your Israelite foreigners and your so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. To you, we say Shalom.
Shalom.
Kwam Yasharala.
Kwam Yasharala.
Abba Babal.
Wow.
Oh.